Welcome to the first episode of Dueker Sports Show. I am your co-host Christian Lunday, and on the screen next to me is the man, the myth, the legend, Dylan Dueker. What's up, Dylan?
How's it going?
Oh, it's going. There's a big game last night. What'd you think of it?
What game?
The
I'm just
Super
kidding.
Bowl, Dylan. The Super Bowl.
I'm
Don't
just
be
kidding.
coy with us. I thought
It
the
was
game was amazing.
that was a great game. Great game for sure.
Yeah,
So
I think the MVP awards. I know the consensus is not quite equal, but I think Cooper Cup really did deserve the MVP award. I think there's a good argument for Aaron Donald. Honestly, I think both teams just gutted it out. I know Joe Burrow was hurt. The Rams suffered a plethora of injuries. The first half was kind of slow, but the second half just had all the fireworks, and I was tuned in the entire time. It was a fun game.
yeah, that game had some ups and downs for sure. It definitely looked like the Rams were going to run away with it at first. That's what I thought. OBJ going down, that was big time. So the whole
Yeah,
momentum seemed to change. Then the Bengals came out in the second half. My gosh, 22 seconds. And I told my family, I was like, this is the game right here. They scored a touchdown on the first play, 75 yards, come back, get an interception on the very next play. And I thought, this is over. But
yeah.
Rams hung in there. They battled back.
You're right about the first half though, because Matt Stafford started out. I think he started out 9 for 10 with 2 touchdowns. I think a buck 70. I'm not quite sure on the yardage stat, but he was looking incredible. The Rams were coming out. The defensive line was playing hard. The offensive line was protecting Matt Stafford. Wasn't getting a lot of push in the run game, but they seemed to be flowing and hitting on all cylinders. OBJ reminded me of Jamison Williams for Alabama in the national championship game. He was just torching Georgia, and then he gets hurt, and Alabama you know, didn't have enough firepower after he left. And I was just like, man, the OBJ injury seemed extremely similar to that, where OBJ was just torching the Bengals secondary, had a nice touchdown grab in the end zone, and then gets hurt. And the offense kind of stagnates for the rest of the first half. And I was kind of concerned going into halftime. I was like, man, if you told the Bengals, hey, you're only going to be down 13-3, really around most of the first half, I think they kind of, if you gave them a bunch of scenarios, that might be one of the top ones that they take because they're keeping it close. We saw the Rams; they were supposed to be, odds-on favorite. They were better in almost every statistical category except maybe passing offense, which really, I mean, the Cooper Cup season is incredible and probably the greatest wide receiver season I've ever seen in my life. But the Bengals have all sorts of offensive firepower in their skill positions. So if you keep it close like that, you can make a move just like they did against the Chiefs 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, I think so. One of the biggest players of the game is the backup tight end for the Rams, Hopkins. Isn't that his
He
name,
made
Bryce
some key
Hopkins?
catches. Yeah,
He was clutch over and over again. Someone had to step up when OBJ went down. I would not have guessed it was going to be him, but hey, Super Bowls make heroes. So
they
he came
do.
out of nowhere. He played great. Um, yeah. So we're going to be discussing some of just recapping the Super Bowl and discussing some of the biggest key moments. So, are there any moments on the top of your head that you thought watching the game like, this is it? This is a key moment.
I think there are 4 moments that stick out to me the most whenever I think about it. I haven't had a chance to go back and rewatch, but when I was watching the game, there are 4 key moments. Number 4 would be the drop by T. Higgins. That was a
Mm-hmm.
crucial drop. It stuffed a drive that was very important for the Bengals, and I think that was a huge missed opportunity. And I think when they go back and watch that game, they're going to look at that play and be like, "Man, if he caught that, we might have tied the game or went ahead and scored, and this would be a whole different ball game at that point." Number 3 would be the Cooper Cup first down on 4th and 1. Their running game stalled out. They're not getting much push. They decide to do a jet sweep where Cooper Cup motions, stutters, makes it look like he's lining up, then motions again. They hand the ball off to him. He's got a sliver of daylight, and he makes a great cut. He plants his foot in the ground and just goes upfield, north to south running, and gets the first down. That was so important. That was crucial. monumental. It was incredible, and it's one of the reasons why he gets MVP in my head. And then the second most important moment was the Cooper Cup game-winning touchdown to put them up. And I think that was he just got the daylights knocked out of him in the previous play.
Oof.
People are sitting there wondering, is concussion protocol like not a thing anymore? We
Not
need to
on the
do
last
the
play of the
hey,
Super Bowl,
yeah, not on the
apparently.
last play. Heck no. I don't think either of you or me would leave the field, and that
No.
with the stakes that high, if we were ailing like that. But came back the very next play over Eli Apple, who talked a lot of crap on a bunch of teams over the past year, and mosses him in the end zone and scores the game-winning touchdown. That was an incredible play and a very huge moment. But the number one moment in the game to me is the fourth down stop by Aaron Donald. Stunts around the guard, comes in, forces Burrow to hurry, throws an errant pass. I think Samaje Perine was there. Probably could have dove for it. I don't know, but that was the biggest play in the biggest moment by one of the greatest defensive players I've ever seen on the face of the planet, and they needed it most. He might be the most clutch defensive lineman I've seen. Uh, and the next closest to me, in my opinion, would be Chris Jones. But other than that, I mean, Aaron Donald is second to no one, and that was the biggest play in the Super Bowl. And yeah, that would be the top four moments to me that stuck out. What about you?
Well, so I was just going to talk a little bit about what you just said. So I wanted to clarify. So you're talking about the T. Higgins drop. You're saying, was that the third down and like 9?
I think so.
Was
Yeah,
that T. Higgins or was it Tyler Boyd?
Uh,
I'm
no,
pretty
no,
sure that was
I think
Tyler
the
Boyd.
it might have been Tyler Boyd. I think the T. Higgins one was in the end zone where there was a questionable no call, but
Yep.
both of those are kind of crucial plays. They needed the points and they needed the first down.
So what I thought was interesting, yeah, so T. Higgins dropped the ball in the end zone, but I think that was Jalen Ramsey. He got in there. He kind of broke the play up. And then Tyler Boyd's the one that drops the ball on third down and 9. But he was the one, he looked upfield right before he got hit, and I think that was the problem there. So that was a drop. It still would have given them like fourth down and 1, but I think they could try to go for it and get it possibly, even though a little bit later we'd see fourth down and 1 where they didn't get it. But yes, one thing that I thought was crazy, I had heard nothing about Aaron Donald retiring when this game was over until right before the kickoff. They're like, he's considering retirement if the Rams win this game. I was like, that's mind-blowing. The guy's seemingly still in his prime.
Too.
What's that? Sean McVay?
Sean McVay, too. Yeah, they said something about him wanting to spend more time with his family. What? You're 36.
I know, he's 36. I mean, if I could retire at 36 as a Super Bowl champion, I'd probably do it too. But I don't see him retiring. I did see a report saying that he was not going to retire, that he's committed to next season. I haven't heard anything from Aaron Donald yet, so I'm not sure. I wouldn't imagine that he would retire after that, but
on
maybe
one
wants to go out on
hand,
top.
I want to see a great player play for a long time. On another hand, I want him to retire so he stops terrorizing our favorite teams.
That's what I thought. That's what I told my family. I was like, I almost hope the Rams win now just so I don't have to deal with Aaron Donald in the league anymore. The guy's a monster.
Right.
He
is. Whenever he hit Joe Burrow out of bounds, it was a legal hit. The offensive line does what offensive linemen should do, which is come in and protect their quarterback. But not in a million years would I punch a man that big. And of all big men, you punch Aaron Donald? You want to make that man angry? But no way.
I saw a lot of games this year with Aaron Donald scrapping it up with a lot of people. He had a chip on his shoulder or something this year. He played angry all year long. He had a man by the throat earlier this season. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah. He was choking another man. I was like, this guy's angry.
Yeah, he is. He wanted one of these, and he got it.
He did. He got it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I never like seeing a player go out in his prime.
Me neither.
It's kind of like Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. I look back and I'm like, what could they have been? I get wanting to get out of Detroit, though. Same for Matthew Stafford. Maybe the other guy should have taken a note and gone to the Rams or a Super Bowl caliber team. Not the Rams back then. Not the Rams.
I saw something where Barry Sanders was talking about an offensive line, one of the better ones, and he's like, "Man, if I was behind them, I would have ran for almost 3,000 yards." I was like, "Yeah, probably that good." So you had a top 10 list of biggest moments in the
Yes.
Super Bowl, didn't you?
Yes,
Let's
I
get to
did.
that.
So I watched the game live. I took some notes, but I stopped to think. I was like, I know, I just want to enjoy the moment. So I went back again this morning. I decided to rewatch the game. I would pause it. I'd take any notes. Anytime I thought, like, you could just feel impact moments while you're watching a game. So if I felt it, I'd jot it down. When it was over, I decided to narrow that list down to top 10. So I've got top 10. I didn't order them in, like, which is the most important. I just ordered them, like, in terms of like when they happen. So I'm going to go in order of the plays that changed the game for me. So right off the bat, leading to the first score of the game. So the Bengals come out ultra aggressive. They face a fourth down on their first drive. And I jokingly said, man, I hope they go for it. And then they actually came out to do it. And I was like, oh no. I was like, this is way too risky. You do not want the momentum to change that quickly. I thought Joe Burrow looked a little bit nervous going into that play. So he drops back to pass. He has Jamar Chase. Oh, I wouldn't even say open. He's pretty covered. And then the problem, though, is that P. Ryan's coming out of the backfield. Rams are playing man coverage. P. Ryan leads the linebacker right to Chase. So breaks up the play, fourth down, turnover on downs. Now that's important because then the Rams get the ball, great field position, and then they drive down the field. They throw a touchdown pass to OBJ. So right off the bat, I'm like, okay, that was a bad sequence of events. Now you're down a touchdown. The Rams have all momentum. They get the big fourth down stop. They get the touchdown. And a team trying not to give up the big play gives up the big play. They left Hilton on an island with OBJ. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. So right off the bat, I was like, okay, this is not good. So the next time that I'm watching the game, and I'm like, this is big time. So you got Cooper Kupp's first touchdown, and they missed the extra point. And Johnny Hekker, one of the best punters probably of all time. The guy is a stud, not even playing the ball, also throwing the ball. The guy's got great hands, great skill, drops the ball on the extra point. And I'm thinking right now, there's always these small plays in every game that can change the outcome. And just watching that, like, I caught that one live. I wrote a note in my phone as soon as I saw it, and I was like, that could be a game changer right there. And it almost was, as we saw later in the game, but we'll get to that. And then the next biggest moment was and I'm representing Philadelphia right here, Philly special. You got Joe Mixon. First pass of his career in the Super Bowl, puts it on a string, throws a touchdown pass. And I thought, okay, got the momentum coming right back to Cincinnati at that point. I think it was it 13-3 when that happened? So that's what cut the score down, 13-10. We're about to head into halftime. So I thought, okay, they're getting back in it. They're getting some momentum back. The game just felt manageable at that point. And then that leads me quickly after that play to a huge moment, and that is OBJ's injury. So 3:50 to go in the second quarter. Odell Beckham Jr. non-contact play. I see a lot of players talking on social media about banning field turf today. Yep. And as soon as I saw it, it didn't look that bad, but every non-contact play doesn't look that bad. But he started grabbing his knee immediately, and I was hoping he didn't tear his ACL, but it did not look good. And when that happened, I thought, since I had just scored the first touchdown, cut the score, OBJ goes down with an injury. I had the Rams. I mean, anyone who read my article, Dueker Sports article, I picked the Rams to win. I thought they'd win. But at that moment, my outcome came into doubt. I thought, okay, Cincinnati has momentum, and I didn't think the Rams could survive losing OBJ because they weren't able to run the ball. And Cooper Kupp, as great as he is, I didn't think he could carry the whole team. But he did.
He did.
Okay, then this is where it gets crazy. This is not one of the key moments, but it's a little bonus for you. Game-changing moments. The halftime show. That's a game changer. Best halftime show I've seen. That's just my personal opinion. I loved it. I thought Dr. Dre and Snoop did a great job.
A nostalgia farm for millennials.
It sure was. And I think, a lot of people, it was very controversial on social media. You either loved it or you hated it, but I loved it. I loved every second. But that's just a little bonus for you. Had no impact on the outcome of the game, but a great moment. And then going to our next moment, come out of halftime. I'm like, all right, I'm just getting settled back into my chair. Here comes Cincinnati. Right off the bat, 75-yard bomb. Touchdown. Cincinnati takes the first lead of the game. All momentum on Cincinnati at this point. And I thought this is game over. It's game over. They have every ounce of momentum at that moment in time.
Questionable no call, offensive pass interference with the twisting
sure was.
with the twisting of Jalen Ramsey's mask. The line judge didn't see it. The side judges were behind, so they didn't see it. It was kind of a savvy play.
It was.
But it should have been called, but it wasn't.
I think
the Rams. I can't remember that long ago. I think the Rams got away with a huge no call against the Saints. Do you remember that?
You win some, you lose some.
Right?
I think you could tell very much, like, in this game, the refs, I feel like the NFL told the refs, let them play, because there was an emphasis, almost, it felt like. They weren't calling
until
anything.
The last 2 minutes of the game. And then
the
it's like,
very last,
don't let them play anymore.
Oh, we're getting there. Trust me.
Okay.
Yes, the whole game. I actually liked it. It benefited the Rams. The Rams are the more physical team. But I thought this is great. That's what we want to see, football fans. We don't want to see the refs taking over the game. We don't want to see laundry being thrown left and right, stopping the game. Super Bowl has enough commercials as it is. We don't need any more breaks. Let's just let the guys play. I think that's how it went. I know Jalen Ramsey in that moment wasn't very happy, but I think it benefited him. He's probably the most physical corner in the league. So letting that man play changed. I think it probably changed the game as much as anything. So definitely, I think that was a missed call. But like I said, you win some, you lose some. Touchdown Bengals. They go up 17-13. Rams come out. They have to regain momentum. They gave up the Philly special touchdown. OBJ goes down. They give up an opening play touchdown second half. Matthew Stafford comes out. Here we go, right? Throws an interception. First play. Like, and I'm rooting for the Bengals in this game. I'll be honest. I'll let you know who I was rooting for. And at that moment, I'm celebrating. I'm like, this is insane. You couldn't, like, the momentum. There's no momentum left for the Rams. They're down to 0 at that point. I'm like, it all happened in 22 seconds of gameplay between the kickoff until the point where Matthew Stafford throws an interception. 22 seconds. And I think in 22 seconds, I thought the game was over. I said the Bengals just won the game in 22 seconds. That's what I told everybody. But alas, premature take. Cold takes. Put it on the cold takes.
Freezing.
Maybe that's our next video. All right. So that's what happens. And then we head into, let's see. Oh, yeah. I made a note right here. So the Bengals scored 10 points in the entire first half. And then they come out and they score 10 points in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So I'm like, wow. They really turned it around. I don't know what coach said at halftime, but he got the guys ready to play. I don't know. Maybe it was the halftime show got them fired up.
Maybe
they were listening to that.
Definitely Snoop Dogg taking a drag of what shall not be named before he rose from the elevator. That just got everyone going.
Or was it Eminem? He asked him. He said, if you have one shot, one opportunity
yeah,
to seize everything you ever wanted. He said, you know what? We are going to take it. So we have that. Maybe that was an impact. Maybe I should add it to the list. That's number 11, Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, number 11.
Got the Bengals fired up. All right, and then this isn't necessarily one moment, but this is a trend second half. This is where the game started turning around. So the Bengals go up 20-13, and then there's just no scoring for quite a while. Multiple drives, neither team able to move the ball. And this is where the defensive line for the Rams really started taking over. I mentioned in the article in my Super Bowl preview, one reason why I thought the Rams would win this game, They had the third most sacks in the league this year. Bengals offensive line gave up 55 sacks, I think it was, which is the most in the league. And games are won in the trenches. And in the second half, defense stepped up in a big way. They sacked Burrow multiple times. I ended up losing count. I know they at least got 7 sacks on him, maybe 8. I quit keeping track. They were just getting pressure on him every single play. And so I made a note on my phone. I'm like, multiple sacks by the Rams. That's how they started getting momentum back. They were forcing them to punt from deep in their own end zone multiple times, backed them up. Huber, who is a veteran punter, had been in the league for a long time, Cincinnati the whole time, and he wasn't able to punt the ball very well in that game. But being backed up fourth and 29 in their own territory, they could not move the ball, couldn't get anything going. Burrow was running for his life. And then we head to the final moments of the game. You already mentioned this. 4th down and 1 for the Rams. They haven't ran the ball well all game. I'm like, do they try to do a play action pass here, but risk taking a sack on that play? But in big moments, you put the ball in the hands of your best players. They pitch it out to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, one of the best runs of the night for the Rams. 7-yard run, doesn't matter. One of the best runs of the night. Gets the first down, keeps the drive alive. That could have been the game right there. 4th down, that would have given Bengals great field position. It would have put them down 2 scores if the Bengals just get a field goal. But Cooper Kupp makes the move, gets the first down. So that was a huge moment. And then they start. So that was the first play that Cooper Kupp was involved in on that drive. But then Matthew Stafford started playing a game called Feed Cooper Kupp. And they drove all the way down the field. I don't know what plays they called. They just said, find Cooper Kupp, throw him the ball, because that's what started happening on that. And so multiple times, they get down to the I think the 11-yard line. I can't remember exactly where they're at. Then the referees, big moment, game's on the line. Then they start throwing the laundry. Then the flags start coming out all of a sudden. So I think the first call, I think it was a bad call. Logan Wilson, here's my moment right here. It's Logan Wilson, the holding call, 3rd down and I think 9. I thought that was a terrible call. You're letting them play all game long. And I mean, I don't know. If you look closely, maybe there's a hold there. I didn't really see one. That was a ticky-tack play.
Yep.
Ticky-tack call. And I think it wasn't really that fair because at that point in the game, so you've already played the majority of the game. You're down to the final 2 minutes of the game. The refs have called the game the same way from the beginning till that point. So Logan Wilson, I'm sure, they know they can get away with something, a little bit of contact right there, but I didn't see him grab a jersey. I didn't see him do anything. I thought he played the ball pretty well, but they call holding. At that point, Cincinnati score whenever you point 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. I was like, they're going to punch the ball in right here. And then you have, I think it may have been the very next play. I'm pretty sure that's when Eli Apple gets hit with a pass interference. That's our next biggest moment. Now that was pass interference. There's no doubt about that. Clearly pulling the jersey. Lots of contact on that play. So definite pass interference. And then let's see here. Yeah, so that puts the ball 1st and goal from the 1, then sets up the Cooper Kupp touchdown. And the Rams take the lead. But I'm thinking, okay, Joe Cool played great all year. He looked settled in. I'm pretty sure he led the league in comebacks this year. So I thought, okay, time to shine. They come out, they get the ball to Jamar Chase. They're moving the ball down the field. And then we get to the last sequence here. So you talked a lot about the 4th down play, which is going to be my final play. Spoiler alert. But another big moment that a lot of people aren't mentioning is the play right before that was the 3rd down run by P. Ryan, which Aaron Donald also stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So he sets up the 4th down and 1. One-arm tackle, amazing play, sets up 4th down and 1. I didn't like the play call there by Zach Taylor. All game long, they kept running draw plays on like 3rd and 4th and short down, like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. They kept running draws. I'm like, line up under center and run the ball. I didn't understand that. They weren't getting any
I
success.
think I know why. I think that's
What?
because Joe Burrow's knee is hurt. I think it's not. I think they're keeping it quiet, but I think they kept him back from the center so he wouldn't get hit, and they handed it off a lot, so he wasn't putting a lot of pressure on his knee. Only when he absolutely needed to. I think he was. I think his knee is really hurt.
That's a good point. Maybe, and if his mobility was limited, even turning around to hand the ball off, maybe that's a good point. He
I wouldn't
was
be
limping.
surprised if a cruciate ligament is torn. I don't know which one, but I wouldn't be surprised.
It'll be interesting to see. We got to watch the news lines for that.
Yep.
So very possibly. But yeah, so I mean, you have Aaron Donald making the stop, 3rd down and 1, then head to 4th down and 1. Aaron Donald does it again, gets in the backfield. I thought that play took too long to set up. You haven't had any time to get Burrow you haven't been able to give him any time the whole second half, and then that play just took too long to develop. P. Ryan wasn't looking for the ball right away. I think you got to get the ball out quick. And I think you get the ball in the hands of a playmaker. I'm sure everyone would expect Jamar Chase to get the ball there, but I'm like, even a screen, you got to pitch the ball out fast. Let your guy make a move. They set up a play. It took too long. Aaron Donald gets the contact on Joe Burrow, taking him down. He just has to throw the ball up. Game over. And Rams win the Super Bowl. So that's my 10th moment. That was
And the fat lady sings. It's over.
That lady sings.
Yep. She's got a beautiful voice.
Unless if you're
Real
a
quick
Bengals
though.
fan.
That's true. Then it's not a good voice. What's your final take of the game? Where does it rank in the past 20 years of Super Bowls to you? What's your final take of the game?
That's tough. I know. I don't know if I'd put it in the best Super Bowls as an Eagles fan. This is unbiased though. Upset over New England. It may be not my number 1 Super Bowl, but that's got to be up there. Huge upset. You talk about New England coming back against Atlanta 28-3. That's a good one. The goal line play, New England versus Seattle. Russ throwing a pick. So a lot of good Super Bowls in the past 20 years, no doubt. I don't know where I would rank it. I thought it was a great game, though. I think this year's playoffs, I said it going into the playoffs, one of the deepest fields we've seen in a long time, I thought. We had about 8 teams that I really felt were true contenders in this year's playoffs. And other than a pretty boring first round full of upsets, I think the divisional, the championship rounds, and the Super Bowl, all great games, every one of them. So any team that won the Super Bowl this year was going to have to fight tooth and nail. It was going to be earned. And the Rams went out there, they got it done, which is good because they salvaged their entire future, I feel like, for the Super Bowl. So had they not gotten it done, I think we were heading into some pretty sad times for the Rams. But we'll see what happens. If Aaron Donald retires, the Rams may have a rough go of it coming these next few years. But as long as you've got Cooper Kupp and you've got Matthew Stafford there, Sean McVay calling the plays, they'll be competitive. They play in a tough division, so it'll be interesting to see going forward.
Well, there you go. The final take from the guru himself, Dylan Dueker. I am your co-host, Christian Lunday. This has been Dueker Sports. Thank you.